No.
Hi, I'm Eli. This is my speech. Showing the crowd. There's 1, 2, 3, and the cameraman is the fourth man. I'm Eli. Okay, you guys are environmental students, and this is a speech on salmon habitat destruction and species decline. The habitat for numerous species of salmon has been changed drastically, endangering the many varied species of wild salmon that evolved over centuries in their own unique habitat. The culprit behind these attacks is none other than us Homo sapiens. Many of the species of western salmon are endangered, and the destruction of their habitat as well as overfishing has led to the reduction of their numbers. During much of the 21st century, damming, farming, infrastructure, and urban sprawl has devastated much of the habitat for the salmon known as Chinook, the spring, Coho, the silver, Chum, the dog, Pink, the humpback, and Sockeye, the red salmon, thanks to McClathy, 2003. The damming of rivers in such areas as California, Oregon, and even Colorado inhibits the flows of rivers. When many of these dams were implemented, channels for spawning salmon to return to the spring beds or for the juveniles to return to the sea were not provided, thus killing the river upstream of the dam. The effects of farming on land surrounding the river habitats often create large problems for salmon eggs and juvenile fish. The removal of soil-retaining plants to allow for farming causes more water runoff than in a natural situation. The extra water runoff causes swelling of rivers and enhanced river flow. Along with the excess watershed, because of the lack of soil-retaining plants, much silt and other particulate will find its way into the rivers. The extra particulate decreases the oxygenation in the water and reduces the productivity of the river itself. Thank you, Klamath River Keeper 2012. The decrease in oxygen content of the river can seriously affect the juvenile salmon and in extreme cases can ravage juvenile numbers. The River Keeper in 2012 says, the fall run salmon have faced less destruction to their numbers because they avoid the heat of summer and the high point of the particulate in the summer as well. Other sources, such as the Canadian Journal of Fisheries and the report put together by David Larson, explain the effects of habitat destruction, and I quote, Habitat conditions altered by human-induced changes to fundamental processes include the longitudinal frequency and depth of pools, the composition of streambed substrate, riparian vegetative cover, the complexity of channel habitat, and the floodplain connectivity. While habitat destruction has played its role in the decrease of salmon numbers, the overfishing of rivers on the western seaboard beginning in the 1800s has caused much of the species decline. According to the report by the Klamath River Keeper in 2012, the Klamath River was once teeming with over 100,000 spawning salmon during the spring run. Now, the numbers dwindle in the danger zone to less than 1,000 in the 2010 season. This is a trend that is being seen all throughout the western seaboard. These numbers are proof that habitat destruction from farming and damming, along with overfishing, has led to dwindling numbers. There are efforts being implemented to hopefully return some of the wild numbers of salmon in the U.S. According to David Larson in the Canadian Journal of Fisheries in 2006, some of the ways in which habitats are being restored are adding habitat structures such as wood overhangs, which will provide pools and channels that are essential to the spawning habitat. So the stabilization and replanting of native aquatic plant species are some other steps being taken by locals in order to revive some streams. Also, some efforts are underway to redirect road and farming drainage in order to reduce runoff and sediment content in said runoff. In rare cases, dams have even been removed from streams in order to make the river wild once again. The lack of environmental education has led to the destruction of salmon habitat throughout the western seaboard of the USA. Numerous causes such as damming, farming, and overfishing have slashed the numbers of wild salmon in the U.S. While the numbers of wild salmon are dwindling near extinction, environmental changes by humans can help restore some productivity of the natural habitat. Thank you.